great. The power was great until it wasn't. Rotor Supra, arguably one of the coolest cars as a shop we've ever built and probably one of my favorites to drive. And this car has been out of commission now for over a year. Basically, I sent out some parts to get machined, the shop went out of business, held my parts hostage, which basically left me with a paperweight of an engine. This is actually a mock-up engine, it doesn't have parts inside of it. This was literally just to go to PRI that was almost over a year ago. So, we got a replacement heart for the Supra. I saw a lot of you guys commenting, hoping for a NASCAR V8, hoping for a lot of things. I told you that it was something spicy, but I didn't say that it wasn't gonna be another 4-rotor. I love this car, I love the engine, and believe it or not, what happened was I was speaking with Gip, who I met in Australia and actually gave me a billet front plate for my Datsun because I knew he had the machinery and the tools needed to be able to fix my engine. But when we started crunching the numbers, it actually made more sense to buy this complete engine from him rather than shipping stuff back and forth to Australia, which is gonna let me and Vargas take our time, find another shop that can do the machine work over here, maybe use that 4-rotor for another project. But one of the big differences, now we got a billet 4-rotor, baby. So there's a lot of changes to go over with this new engine, but one of the biggest differences that is right in your face, these billet plates not only shave weight and give us a lot of other benefits.
And so it begins.
The new adventure. These headers work with the new intake, so cross our fingers. Keep as much as possible that's already been fabricated on the new engine. And then make changes, so like try new header designs. Put the new one in, make sure that we clear in the rack and pinion. Should be straightforward.
One of the biggest differences with the new billet 4-rotor is that we're actually moving away from a dry sump system and going back to a wet sump. So we'll be able to delete a lot of lines and a lot of the complicated stuff. The reason I'm doing this, just after speaking with a lot of other people, including Mad Mike, it seems like the wet sump is actually the way to go for the most reliability because there's no real dry sump system that's suited for the 4-rotor and what we were asking of it. Every device in our lives keeps getting smarter, whether it's a smartwatch, an LED bulb. The world around us is getting smarter and your e-commerce business should too. And that's where the sponsor of today's video comes into play, ShipStation. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't heard me rave about how awesome ShipStation is already, whether you're looking to send your efficiency through the roof or if you've outgrown your old shipping solutions, ShipStation is gonna help you on the next step. As you guys may or may not know, shipping is integral to our operations here at the LZ compound. We now have 3 e-commerce businesses between LZMFG, Drift HQ, and now Sim HQ. And not only does ShipStation make our lives managing these businesses super simple, but it saves us tens of thousands of dollars in shipping. Because you get to leverage their industry-leading discounts, you can save up to 89% off UPS, DHL Express, and USPS rates. Not only will it make comparing rates and printing shipping labels much easier, but it also makes customer service a breeze, which is no wonder why 98% of customers that stick with ShipStation for a year become customers for life, including us. Just go to shipstation.com/AdamLZ to sign up for your free 60-day trial. I want to give a massive thank you to ShipStation not only for making our lives easier on the e-commerce side, but also becoming a major sponsor of my channel. I appreciate it. Once again, guys, just go to shipstation.com/AdamLZ. I know you won't regret it.
Make these headers work.
That is some fab right there,
That's
Johan.
a big header. I forgot I did that.
Yeah. Props to you on that one.
Yeah. First header.
Yeah.
Header. Build turbo manifolds, but this is a whole different ballgame.
That's pretty.
Look at that smile.
Look at that shine, dude. Look at that bling. Some dudes got watches, they got necklaces and shoes. I got 4-rotor.
You got a dripped out motor.
I got a 4-rotor.
Come on, muscles. Damn.
Big, because the other one is heavy.
Yeah.
Like, in depth. So
Those aluminum plates.
yeah, the billet plates definitely
Help a
help a
ton.
lot. So took the intake off so that we could easily put in the car and muck up things. Then I figured I put it back on just to muck up the header because it's one of those things in questions because of the new intake.
Right.
And I use quotation marks because it's technically the same style intake, but the way it's mounted to the housings is different. So we have better clearance for the upper bolt and the same clearance around the runners
Okay.
for the intake. So we don't have to modify the headers, we don't have to make new headers. So that means that the car will be done sooner.
That much quicker.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's sick.
yeah, because I don't want to drive it tomorrow. So
In Adam fashion.
yeah,
Yeah.
used to it by now.
Yeah. So it's been a few days. Back from Irwindale. New motors in the car. Hi, Johan.
Hi, Mike. I removed the engine and then I left the transmission in so I could bolt the new engine in and have a point of reference for the mount that I made.
Yeah, this is new.
Yeah, so now it's gonna be mounted to the subframe. I want to go to the frame rails, but we had enough material here, so I mounted to here. Jump a few days ahead by having it mounted sooner. It's no longer a dry sump, now it's gonna be a wet sump. We could simplify the lines. There's already a lot of lines that came off the car. Thankfully, we keep a spare filter elements for this type of oil filter housing, so we could reuse this oil filter and kind of keep the same routing of the lines. Cleaned it up a little bit. New lines going to the engine. Byron's, they supply nice PTFE lines. They're more rigid than the normal steel braided line. They have nylon inserts inside of them, and then there's reinforced with the stainless steel, and then good stuff, but the bigger it is, the harder it is to work with. Getting all the lines situated, we got some stuff for the injectors to adapt the injectors to the housing, so we got some spaces coming for that. You don't want a line bursting like that. So
Yeah, we've had plenty of that before.
yeah, a lot of that. I think we're done with that. It's been longer than a year since this thing ran, so
I know.
it's gonna be kind of exciting to have to open. It's perfect timing too, so the weather's like nice now, so
It's right back to the time when we first built it.
right.
Yeah.
So we could open the doors. It's colder where they're outside, so
Yeah. It's only 80.
yeah, we're not gonna suffocate ourselves with the fumes.
As you guys probably already know by this point, every $5 you spend on Drift HQ, LZMFG, or RTRvehicles.com gets you entered for a chance to win the Mustang and $15,000 cash. We got a new colorway of the Tilgay t-shirt, one of my absolute favorites. With the Subaru, we got a new colorway, race tee, and then we also got some surprise restocks of the Mint 964 Porsche hoodie and the team hoodie. Basically, the race trailer came back from California, so we restocked all the stuff that was at the events, including the team gear, which isn't gonna be here anymore because the season's over, so don't forget to eat your Wheaties. One of the things that I'm most excited about on the new 4-rotor is that we actually have injectors now that are directly mounted to the housing. So what this is gonna let us do is have way better control of the fueling, especially for throttle response. Before, on the old engine, we didn't have any injectors on the housings, and basically you rely on all the fuel that's getting sprayed into the throttle bodies all the way up here. So it gets very tricky because you gotta think, you are timing the fuel spray this far away from the motor where it needs to go all the way down into here. So there might be a little bit of power left on the table just for really being able to control the injection timing, but the biggest thing is gonna be just getting that throttle response nice and crisp.
So we got these injector hats so that we can make these injectors the right length for the 4-rotor. This will sit on top of the housings, and he gave us a few rail with standoffs that has a specific length, and the top hats that we have available, they still have a slight give to them, and I don't want an O-ring to pop off and then things catch on fuel because it's leaking fuel.
Yeah.
I got some hats delivered, but to make it the right length, these have a specific ID. That nipple there or this nozzle doesn't fit on there. So put on the lathe, measure the tip on this, and drill it out. Now I could get it to go all the way in, and the O-ring will do its job, and the injectors won't have up and down plate.
Look at that.
Want to see the fun part? It's when you gotta. The trick is to move the engine that way so that header could go in, and then put the engine back in place.
Yeah.
It's not fully tight, but you get the idea.
How to install headers on a 4-rotor.
Yeah.
On a Mark
Well, the
V
typical
Supra.
4-rotors don't have these crazy like spaghetti style
Yeah.
headers.
But who wouldn't want this? This looks
Well-
so sick.
I don't know. We'll see. Like, we're chasing numbers too at the same time, but you know, there's people that've been doing this for a long time based on design and stuff. They get squeezed the much power out of the engine, header design, stuff like that. And for how much power this thing makes, I said we're pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
So to redo a whole set of headers, it'll be more for sound or where the power is, I guess.
Right.
I'm not a tuner. I don't know. I just build like that.
Random side quest! Ready? We've got the E46 over here, and if you guys saw the video where we tuned it, turned up the power, I couldn't do a donut with my girlfriend, and part of the reason was actually the throttle was acting up. Dug into it a little bit more, and I guess there's a very important step that I didn't take that involves these little guys right here. So the Link ECU is actually not advertised as compatible with an S54 drive-by-wire throttle body setup because of the amount of power needed to open up all these throttles with all of these springs. So I called up Chelsea because I know he's got an S54 on Link, and he said, all you gotta do is cut the middle 4 springs. So I'm gonna literally cut the spring so I don't have to take apart all the throttle bodies, and then I should be able to have better throttle control. It basically just couldn't overcome it, and then it throws a throttle fault, which causes the throttle to close. It takes away all my horsepower. So now the question is, how am I gonna be able to get in there to snip what I gotta snip? I really don't wanna have to take this thing off, but that might be the move. I'm glad I didn't cut them because I was actually able to just pop them off, and I can already feel by pushing the throttle down on this little arm that it's way less pressure than it was before to open them. Before I could barely push this down with my arm because there was so much resistance from the springs. Now I can do it pretty easily. There's actually still a spring on the drive-by-wire motor, and then I have 2 springs left on the outside edges. But since I didn't have to cut them, if I ever wanted to put this back together and make it not turbo or... That's my girlfriend. Some of you guys have noisy girlfriends, but mine's a different kind of noisy. Interrupting what I'm doing with her drift car. I think it's good enough.
lines. The fuel, the rail's here now. This rail up here is dummy, so you see nut injectors plugged in, open. I haven't put a cap on it, so don't, but that's a dummy rail now. So I'm running a line through here to here, so and links up both rails. And then we got one more line that goes from the pump to the filter. Put the harness on, pressure sensor. Gotta extend a couple of wires for the pressure sensor, which hopefully I don't. Inspect the fuel filter, clean it out. It has spark plugs already in it. Check timing, the whole shebang. We are close. Should start here soon, hopefully within an hour or so.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, it's been a year. So, and we don't have to worry about coolant leaking into the rotors.
Yep.
It ran that way. We did multiple events without just monitoring the coolant system, and
Yep.
it was perfect. So, or perfect. As long as the oil stays in control, coolant stays under control, this will be a really fun car for Adam to drive, and it will go together. So you may be asking why I'm doing a loop like this, and from that angle, it's probably you can't see it, but I try to go down straight with a line, how it used to be before.
Yeah.
But this rail is the one that came with the engine, and this is the one that was with the ITVs, and they're on a different plane. So I'm not gonna force the line to go in there, and it'll look weird. So the easiest thing to do is to loop it like that,
Yep.
and it won't look too horrible, and
No.
it will save me a lot of work.
So in theory, we should be able to start this thing with its old tune right up. The injection timing is going to be a little bit different, but I don't think that'll matter for starting. The big thing that I need to do is recalibrate the TPS. The drive-by-wire stuff has been messed with once the new intake was made, and that'll definitely give us an error if we try to start it. So I'm going to plug in, make sure all that's kosher, and then we'll see where we're at. Johan had to dip, but thankfully he got all the hard stuff done, so now it's just a little final things for a first start. Bleeding it, checking oil, checking timing, and hopefully we should be able to hear this thing. Now, in theory, it shouldn't really sound any different. I don't know if I explained this or not, but they are actually different rotors. So before we had RX-8 rotors, which I believe are a higher compression rotor. Now we have S5 rotors, which are more commonly used in NA applications and supposedly make the most power. So hopefully this engine will make a little bit more power than the last one, but will it sound different? I have no idea. Drained up. I think I did all these the last time I drove the car. Do you see all my little things I made? Isn't that funny? Yeah, don't read the bottom ones. Fuel pumps, loading. All right, Owen, you want to check for fuel leaks?
I hear fuel, but I don't see fuel, so that's good.
All right, we're gonna crank it and make sure there's oil pressure. You ready? So I don't have oil pressure yet on the gauge. I wonder if we should have like unhooked a line. Maybe it needs more juice too. We only have no battery. All right, I might just say f it.
Yeah?
Tire turner on, ready to smoke out the shop. I'm gonna kill it immediately, so. But also look for leaks. All right, we're gonna need more juice. It did something.
Yo, okay. This thing takes a lot of juice.
Yep. Oil pressure is good. It sounds like the exhaust is like rattling, like something's moving a ton in the car.
Yeah. The motor's also moving.
The motor's moving?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a lot.
Yeah.
Really? All right, so
Like, I don't think that pounds enough.
we'll check for leaks and we'll see what's rattling underneath the car, but fired.
It ran. So we need beefier mounts. But she runs. This sounds good.
I'm thinking that the ports on these are probably a bit more aggressive because it doesn't want to idle really low. The other motor liked to idle really low RPM.
Yeah.
Didn't like it, but it was okay with it. And people always tell me when you have a really big peripheral port, it needs RPM to idle.
Yeah.
So I wonder, because we have the now billet housings, if they're able to take more material, so this thing got even bigger ports.
Yeah.
Like you got a big fat cam in it. No, it definitely though, we got to do something with the engine mount. I can feel it.
Yeah. But it sounds healthy, sounds beautiful.
It runs. I remember us spending months just trying to get this thing to start for the first time.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the fact that everything's plugged in and fired right up.
That's
Oil
sick.
pressure's healthy.
Yeah.
So let's get started with that. 0 leaks too.
Yeah.
No oil lines bursting.
We played with that for a couple weeks.
Yeah, if only we realized and went some sooner. We're now on the finishing line with this car, and I'm so unbelievably excited to have this thing back. And I'm excited for Johan to hear it tomorrow too. So the engine mount thing, well, the reason why Sean wanted me to stop revving it, basically the header was hitting the frame and we don't want to risk cracking that masterpiece or possibly damaging the engine. Basically, Johan wanted to motor plate this and basically build a bar that would brace it to the frame rails. But when he realized an easier solution of just mounting it to this lower subframe, he wanted to give it a shot, but we knew that a proper motor plate basically going from frame rail to frame rail might be necessary. So we'll make a plan tomorrow. We'll figure out where to go from that. But the game plan is early next week or possibly even this weekend to have this thing on the dyno and tune it. The cool thing is the car is already sorted and shaken down, so it's really just buttoned up a couple last little sensors. It's just incredible how far we are. I mean, I guess it really is kind of just like replacing it with the same thing, but it's not at the same time. It's just really cool because I'm used to so much diag just to get the car to this point. So to be here like that and to be able to share with you guys a brand new motor in the video and have the car running again, I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are excited to have this thing back. It's freaking cool. I appreciate you guys, and I've actually got some rally content coming up for you guys next before we jump back into this thing. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys soon.